Okay, hello. For those that I don't know personally, my name is Ayul, and today we're going to do another teaching. I'm very excited to do this teaching because this topic is very close to my heart. This topic was one of the first steps that Yah made me walk to get closer to Him. So I just ask anybody who may not agree with this topic, you think I'm being legalistic, you think I'm whatever is in your human mind, I just ask you simply listen to the words on this channel, because nothing that I talk about on here is what you as a human want to talk about. I just speak the words that my master tells me to speak when I am sitting on my floor and I ask him, what do you want me to say? So anybody who is coming here angry, your flesh is ready to fight me, just relax. Just be quiet for 30 minutes. Listen to the words of Yahusha out of my mouth and go and talk to him about it. Because it's about him. It's about his word. It's not about how we feel. Your feelings are irrelevant. My feelings are irrelevant. What will matter in the end is not your feelings. It will matter, did you know him or not? It will be, depart from me, I never knew you, or it will be, my child. My child. You made it. So it's not about us. It's not about how we feel. But anyways, I'm just gonna get right into it. So today, we are going to talk about Passover. We are going to talk about Passover. What is Passover? Are Passover and Easter the same thing? Does God care if we celebrate Easter? Does God care about the festivals that we keep? Yes, he does. Why? Okay, let's just think about this for a moment. Okay. Passover was introduced to the Israelites when they were in Israel, and they were very, very oppressed. They were slaves. They were treated very badly. Very badly. The Egyptians did not even have remorse for their children. There was I believe this is in the book of Jasher, where it talks about when the Israelites were building the pyramids and building whatever else they had to build. But when they were building, if they would drop a brick, the Egyptians would tell them to place their children in the loss, for the loss of the brick. They were to place their child, a baby, the infant, in there. So they were abused. They were tired. Not only did they get abused, the adults, but the Egyptians had no remorse, even for the infants of the Israelites. They were oppressed for hundreds of years. So we're at a period of time in the book of Exodus here, in Exodus 12 that I'm going to read, where Yah finally is telling Moses, listen, go and do this thing, and after that, Pharaoh will let you go. Okay? So I will read that and then get more into the explanation on the importance of Passover, why Passover is important, why we should not keep other festivals that have nothing to do with Yahuwah, that are actually, you're worshiping other gods when you are participating in pagan holidays. It's not about being legalistic. It's about you are worshiping other gods whether you realize it or not. Just because it is modernized, just because it is 2024ified, and you think it's innocent, does not change the origins, does not change Yah. Yah doesn't change. I'm the same today, yesterday, and forever, Yahusha said. He does not change. We are the one that must change for him. We are the clay. He is he is in charge of forming and cutting off this, and he is the one that is forming the clay, and we are the clay. We are the one to abide by the owner, not the other way around. We are not gods. We are humans. We have a place. There is Yah, and there is us, and we must respect him and his authority, and respect that we are to reign under him, to obey him. Anyways, so right now I'm going to read Exodus 12, okay? And then we will go from there. So if anybody wants to read along, this is Exodus 12 I'll read from 21. That's what I feel like I should read. From Exodus 21, okay? And Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go out and take your lambs for yourselves according to your clans and slaughter the Pessah." Pessah is another word for Passover in Hebrew. "And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you, shall go out of the door of his house until morning. And Yahuwah shall pass on to smite the Midianites, the Egyptians. Yahuwah shall pass on to smite the Egyptians, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Yahuwah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses and to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be when you come to the land which Yahuwah gives you, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, 'What does this service mean to you?' Then you shall say, 'It is the Pessah, slaughtering of Yahuwah, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our households.' And the people bowed their heads and did obstinance. And the children of Israel went away and did so as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe and Aaron. So they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yahuwah smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Mitzrayim. There was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. Then he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, 'Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve Yahuwah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and go. Then you shall barak me too. You shall bless me too, please.' He was scared. He's like, 'Please, go.' He's like, 'Please take this. Go. Get out of here, please. And please, bless me. Please. Because he's terrified. He's terrified. Imagine, you are the Pharaoh at the time, because Pharaoh was just a title they would use for all the different kings, you could say, of Egypt. So this specific Pharaoh, imagine you're this specific Pharaoh from your household, all the way down to the animals. Every firstborn is killed. And you look at the Hebrews, you look at the Israelites, and nobody died. Nobody died from them, but you guys are dwelling in the same land. Imagine the terror on Pharaoh's heart. He was terrified. And amidst I keep saying Mitzrayim but it's Egypt, okay? If I slip up, if I say Mitzrayim by accident, it is Egypt. But I'm translating just so we're all on the same page here, okay? And the Egyptians urged the people to hasten and to send them away out of the land, for they said, 'We're all dying.' And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moses, and they had asked from the Egyptians objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Egyptians. And the children of Israel departed to Ramesses, to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of the land at Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim, and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Yahuwah went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be observed unto Yahuwah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yahuwah. This night is unto Yahuwah, to be observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron, this is the law of Pesach. I think I will stop there. If you guys want to read, again, that is Exodus 12, and I stopped at verse 43. That's what I feel like I am led to stop right now. I'm led to stop right now. So, Passover. Yahuwah passed over the houses that had the blood of the lamb on their homes. And when Yahuwah saw the blood of the lamb, he passed over to not strike them, as he did to the Egyptians. What does that sound like? Does that not sound like Yahusha? Does it not sound like the Messiah? The Messiah, Yahuwah was prophesying of what his son was going to do for us. Now, we're in the times after, the book of Exodus. We're in the times after the Messiah has lived, died, and rose again. And we can see that this is prophecy. He was prophesying of the blood of his son, that when he sees the blood of his son on us, he will pass over us and not smite us too. Of course, this is what Shaitan does, but we will not listen to him. Somebody's calling me right now, but I will continue. Anyways, I'm sorry guys, I'm so happy right now. I'm filled with the Ruah. I'm filled with the Ruah. But this was prophecy of our King, our beloved Yahusha. And now I will read here, if you guys want to flip with me to Luke 22 here. And this is the Messiah now talking about Pesach. Okay? So, Luke 22. And the festival of Mastoth draw near, which is called Pesach. Not Easter, not Christmas, not New Year's. Pesach. Passover. Just remember that. And the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to kill him, for they feared the people. And Satan entered into Judas, who was called Kerioth, who was numbered among the 12. This is the one who betrayed the Messiah. And he went and spoke with the chief priests and the captains how he might deliver him up to them. And they were glad. They were happy to do this thing. They were happy. They were glad and agreed to give him silver. And he promised and was seeking an occasion to deliver him up to them away from the crowd. And the day of Mastoth, the day of Passover, came when the Pesach had to be slaughtered, when the lamb had to be slaughtered. And he sent Kepha and Yohanan saying, go and prepare the Pesa for us to eat. Go and so the Messiah is saying, hey guys, go prepare the lamb for us to eat, because the festival of Passover is coming, right? Because we read that this was a tradition to keep for generations and generations forever unto Yahuwah. So now the Messiah and the disciples, his 12 disciples, are now preparing themselves to eat this Pesa. Okay? And they said to him, where do you want us to prepare? And he said to them, see, as you enter into the city, a man shall meet you carrying a jar of water. Follow him into the house he enters. And you shall say to the master of the house, the teacher says to you, where is the guest room where I might eat the Pesa with my taught ones? And he shall show you a large furnished upper room. There will be a room upstairs. Prepare it there. And going, they found it as he had said to them, and they prepared the Pesa. And when the hour had come, he sat down with the 12 emissaries with him. And he said to them, with a desire I have desired to eat this Pesa with you before my suffering. For I shall say to you, I shall certainly not eat of it again until it is filled in the reign of Elohim. And taking the cup, giving thanks, he said, take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of the fruit of the vine until the reign of Elohim comes. And taking the bread, giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Likewise, the cup also, after supper, saying, this cup is the renewed covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. For see, the hand of him delivering me up is with me on the table. For indeed the Ben of Adam, the son of Adam, goes as it has been decreed, but woe to that man by whom he is delivered up. And then from there, they started to figure out, they started to talk, I wonder who it is. Who is it? Which one? They're all looking at each other. Is it you? Is it you? Who? So, we see here that as Yahuwah told Moses in the book of Exodus, that this festival you will keep unto me for generations, forever. You guys will keep this festival for me, to me. When you guys keep this, you're doing it to me. Years and years and years and years and years later, when Moses is not walking on the earth anymore, the 12 disciples and the Messiah himself are about to celebrate this Passover, this feast to Yah, to our Father, to God. And he is speaking about the fact that he is about to be sacrificed. He is prophesying of, we're about to eat this lamb, but the real lamb, which is me, I'm about to be offered. I'm about to be ransomed. Sorry guys, I gotta go to Ephesians here. This is Ephesians 5:2. I'm just gonna read one more scripture because it connects. We're doing a full circle now here. But it says here, become then imitators of Elohim as beloved children, and walk in love as Mashiach also has loved us, and gave himself for us a gift, an offering to Yahuwah for a sweet smelling fragrance. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. So we can see how all those different scriptures I read, they're all in different areas of the Bible. In the Old Testament and the New Testament, but they're both saying the same thing. The Messiah is the ultimate sacrifice. Just like back in David's time and Abraham's time and Isaac's time, when they would have sacrifices, because back then they had to do sacrifices to Yah, to atone for their sin, to atone for the wickedness, to please Yah. And sometimes it says that, Isaac delivered up this, and it was a sweet smelling fragrance. It was a sweet smelling sacrifice to Yahuwah. The Messiah is a sweet smelling fragrance to Yahuwah because he is the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. He is the Passover lamb. He is the true Passover lamb. The Israelites were keeping a festival to Yah about the Messiah, but back then they didn't know. But we who live under the modern times, we're able to see it. We're able to see it because we're over here now. We're able to see the connection to this. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really happy right now. I'm trying to talk here, but I'm so happy. So Passover is a feast to Yahuwah, as Exodus 12 says, as we just read it. It is a feast to Yahuwah for all generations. The Messiah kept Passover. We keep Passover to remember not only what happened to the Israelites in Egypt, but to remember that this actually is about our King, our blessed Yahusha, our blessed King. Passover and Easter, which is actually Ishtar, are not the same thing. How can Passover and Ishtar be the same thing when Ishtar was celebrated before the Israelites were in Egypt? Before before Yahuwah changed Abraham's name to Abraham. Ham. People were celebrating Easter. So how can Easter be about the Messiah? It's not the same thing. Easter in English, Ishtar. Ishtar is a goddess. The goddess of fertility. People used to, those eggs in elementary school, that when I was in elementary school, they would make us color these eggs and not even tell us the meaning of why we're coloring these eggs. Back in those days, those ancient times, when they would have those eggs, they would dip them, they would color it, definitely, but not the way we're coloring it now with food coloring. They dipped those eggs in blood. In human blood. What person who says that they are of God, they're of the Messiah, wants to partake in such a wicked festival? For those, I'm not angry at you. I'm very passionate right now. Just listen to the words I'm saying. I understand. We're taught that there's nothing wrong with it. We're taught in these modern Christian church buildings. I put quotes because really, if you're reading this, not just pertaining to Passover, but in general, you know Yah is not there. In most of these buildings today, Yah is not there. They don't know how Yah thinks. They don't understand what makes him angry, what pleases him. What I'm talking about right now, they will say it is legalistic. How is it possible as a human, if, say I have a husband, and my husband says to me, Ayul, this thing you're doing to me, it's actually very disrespectful, it hurts me. I'm doing something and I'm hurting my husband. And my husband tells me, this is very disrespectful. I don't like this thing. Can you please stop? Can we work together? So we can stop this. You're hurting me. Am I going to say to my husband, you know what? Like, I think this is kind of a work-based marriage here. I don't really want to have a work-based. I think you're trying to get me to work for your love. And I'm not going to do that, actually. I'm not going to have a work-based marriage. Or would the good wife say, oh, my husband, I don't mean to hurt you in this way. This thing that is bothering you, I will, I will stop. If it hurts you this much, I will stop. Why do we as a human know how to do that for a man? In a good, healthy relationship, people know to do this thing for humans. But for the Messiah, for God, for Yahuwah, for the one who literally wakes you up every single day, you can't even do something small for him because you want to call it legalistic, because you don't want to do the work. Because you think this is about you. This is not about you. This walk is not about you or me. We are his servants. I'm telling you, Yahuwah hates this thing. And he said to me, tell them, those who participate in these things, in these pagan things, in these wicked things, I will destroy them. You guys don't understand how much this thing hurts Yah. We understand if I am going and I'm worshiping other gods, if I go and worship Allah, the God of Islam, Allah, the God of Islam, right? Even though I don't believe that they have a name for Allah, they just call him Allah, which is just God in Arabic for those that don't know. But if I go and I worship the God of Islam, the Allah of Islam, you will say, like, oh, that's wrong. We know that's wrong. But when we do it in a different way, because we don't understand how Satan works, we don't understand how Satan is not stupid. He's not stupid. But we don't understand how he works. So we just think, like, oh, no, not maybe, whatever. It's just a festival. Yeah, it's just Christmas. Yeah. You are hurting the heart of Yah. You are paining Yahuwah. I'm telling you, you are paining. You are paining him. You are paining Yah. Just as a good wife or a good husband, I'll use wife as an example because I'm a woman. Just as a good wife would not do things intentionally that hurt her husband and upset her husband and pain the husband in the heart. You will not continue these things. That is the same way you have to love our Father. That is the same way you must love and have reverence for Yah. If something upsets your husband, you will cut it off because you love him. As a good wife, you love him. You don't want to hurt him. Why would you want to hurt your husband? Wives, obey their husbands. As that, I believe the same chapter of Ephesians that I just read says that. And husbands have to love their wives as themselves. And the head of the husband is Yahusha, and the head of Yahusha is Yahuwah. We have to respect Yahuwah. I don't know why. If you guys are watching my videos, I keep talking about the church. It keeps repeating out of my mouth. And it's not me, guys. Yahuwah is very angry. Yahuwah is very upset with these pastors. As I said in my other video, he didn't send a lot of them. He didn't send most of them. So because he did not send most of them that are talking for fun right now, of course they're not preparing the flock in the way that they should be. We are supposed to be aware of this thing already. This thing we're supposed to be aware of. This topic we are supposed to be aware of. There's so many people. There's so many people hungry. So many people that want to serve Yah. There's a remnant of us. You know, and this topic is very neglected. I understand this topic can be frustrating. It can be just want to punch the air, you know, because you want to do this thing, but you don't know where to go. How do I? Okay. You know in your heart it's wrong. Okay, how can I please Yah? Yahuwah, how do I do? You know, it's you don't know where to go, what way to turn your body. You know. When I was in the church, my church specifically, I can say, as most of these church buildings, God is not there. I remember in the church, I really just wanted somebody to teach me the ways of Yah. Yah put it in my heart. I was very young, I'm still young, but when I was maybe 20 or something like that, something is not right here. Something is not right. Like and I would go home and I'd pray and I'd say, what is this? What is this I'm feeling? I hope, yes, yes, these things, these topics, I'm told to speak of, but I hope that people will still seek Yah independently. Listen to what I'm saying, but take it to prayer. We must test every spirit, even mine. I will always say, even the scriptures that I've listed today, please go and read them for yourself and pray and ask Yah. Because these are things I have learned in my private time with him. These are things you must learn in your private time with him. I'm just leading you guys in the right direction. It's so interesting because when I was in the church, I just wanted somebody to lead me to Yah. I suffered. Really, when I really learned Yahuwah, I really learned the way he thinks. He's my friend now, but before he was my friend, it was painful. I cried a lot, but I'm happy that I can be what I did not have when I was in these modern church buildings. I'm happy I can be what most of us don't have. I'm happy that Yah can use me. I ran so you guys can walk, you know? It's a bit easier. When I was learning these things, I didn't have anybody to, just a young girl trying to understand the heart of my creator. All by myself, I didn't have anywhere to go. I just trusted him. So I'm happy that I can be this for many. Yeah, so I really recommend what I read. Please go read it for yourself. For those who want to understand how to celebrate Passover, I know maybe like Exodus 20 or something like that. I'll try to find the scripture there and link it below. If not, you can find it as well. But The Bible says that the beginning of the year is in the month of Aviv, which we know is March, April area. And the Israelites used to calculate Passover by the moon. So the first full moon of the month, 14 days after that, is Passover. This is how I calculate my Passover. If you don't get the exact date, the exact second, don't stress, because Yah looks at the intent of the heart. My child wants to celebrate me, because like I said 5 million times, Yah said, you keep this thing unto me. Yah delights when he looks down and he says, wow, my child, they love me. They want to keep this to me. They love me. He sees that. We grow as we know him. So those who celebrate, I know, and because our calendar is not Yah's true calendar, people are not celebrating Passover the exact same day all the time. You know what I mean? I celebrated it on the 8th. I have this one sister that I know, she's celebrating it this week. Some people are celebrating at the end of the month. But it's the intent of the heart that Yah looks at. We will grow the more we get to know him. But I know the last chapter of Jubilees talks about how, you know, to calculate Passover and whatnot. Yah speaks of that in the book of the Jubilees. And yeah, I believe in Exodus it is somewhere. It talks about that. I will try to find it and link it down below. But that being said, if you have come this far, thank you very much for watching me for this long. For those who are celebrating Passover, happy Passover. I really hope that you guys, as you celebrate Passover, you feel it, because you will feel so happy. So happy. You will feel Yah, and I promise you that you will feel Yah. It's different when we keep what he tells us to keep, and not a bunch of nonsense that has nothing to do with him, but rather other gods. I really pray for all of you that watch this. I'm praying for all you guys, genuinely. You know when people say, like, I'll pray for you, but it's just like a word of encouragement? No, I actually will pray for everybody that watches this, because I understand how hard it is to follow Yah in this world, in our modern times, in these last days. It's very difficult. It's not an easy thing. You want to follow Yah, this thing will pop up. You want to follow Yah, this will happen. But just know, everything that you go through, your brothers and sisters in the world experience the same. As 2 Corinthians says. We're all in this together. So guys, let's run the race. Let's focus on righteousness. Let's love Yah. It needs to come from the heart, for real. Not just with your mouth, but actually in your heart to love Yah. And you know, right away, you may not have that. Like right now, I can say, me, I'm in love with Yahuwah. I'm in love with him. But when I first started reading my Bible, I didn't have this, like, I love him so much, you know? But it's like any relationship. When you first get to know somebody, you don't really know them. You don't really know what makes them mad. You don't really know, how can I make them happy? Like, what hobbies do they like? You don't know, because you're just meeting this person. So look at it like that. But once you spend maybe a year or 2 years and so on with this person, you'll start to love them. You know, how many friendships, you know, get stronger, and relationships and marriages get stronger because of they spend more time with each other. They get to know each other more and grow, and they fall in love. A marriage couple falls in love with each other more I hope, you know, the ones that are strong, they fall in love with each other more the longer that they're together. It's the same thing with Yoa. And me, there's so much I still don't know. You know, there's people more mature than me in the faith, but there's still so much we can learn. Even walking with him for 50 years, there's still so much we can learn. There's always more to learn with Yah. But yeah, everybody be blessed. I hope everybody has a... Hopefully I will upload this on the Shabbat, Yah willing. But I will see you guys in my next video. Let's run the race. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Okay. See you guys till next time. Bye.